Mike Lindell has made it official. He is running for governor of Minnesota. The MyPillow CEO rolled out his campaign today, shaking up the Republican field. Reporter Heather Mullins is live in Minnesota at the MyPillow warehouse. Heather, what can you tell us?
Well, a lot of people here at the factory, the employees that I've had a chance to speak with, they're really happy that he's running. And, when you look around me and you see the size of this warehouse, it is actually incredible, Vanessa. Talk about American manufacturing right here in America, right here in Minnesota. What I've been hearing from some of the people here, there's been not just employees, but other people that came out to support Mike. When I was talking to them, one of the important issues for them is American manufacturing, is cutting regulations that are hurting small businesses and businesses like the MyPillow factory here in Minnesota. And so if anybody's going to run for governor, get elected, and know what to do in order to ease the burden on business owners, it's going to be Mike Lindell.
Absolutely. He's always been America first when it comes to the products. Everything is made in the USA. When you go to mypillow.com, mystore.com, that is one of his big deals this whole time
Mhm.
since he's been known, is just to make everything in the USA. But I am sure it is a huge warehouse. I've actually never seen the inside of the warehouse. So I see your shot right now, and I see a MyPillow Christmas tree behind you too. But it's great that the employees are
It is,
excited
yeah.
about this. What was I love that, the little pillows on the tree. What was the mood like during the announcement today?
Well, when he did his announcement, he did it right over by the assembly line. So, like, right behind him during his announcement were all the people making the pillows in real time. So, it was actually quite cool when you think about it. But surrounding him were a bunch of reporters, which, Mike did take a couple jabs at them for their failure to cover some of the big things that have been going on in this state, specifically the fraud to the tune of $1 to $8 billion that the Somali community here in Minnesota was found to have stolen from the Minnesotan taxpayer. I mean, they did this through programs that were supposed to be intended for children with autism, housing programs, and many others. But I mean, we're talking $1 to $8 billion. And Stephen Miller from the Trump administration called it one of the worst cases of Medicaid fraud or Medicare fraud in American history.
Absolutely. And, I was thinking about that today, Heather, when Mike made his announcement that this Republican, there's a crowded field on the Republican side, but the Republicans have some momentum going into this. Mike Lindell has some momentum going into this because of all of the allegations going on against Tim Walz right now, and more keeps coming
Mhm.
out. At first, they were saying the fraud was around $1 billion. Now they're saying it's an estimated $8 billion.
Yes, for sure. And then there's also a lot of concern from people that I've talked to that, when you look at that as far as the fraud on the Medicaid, Medicare side of things, they're also worried about election fraud. And that's something that the voting machines and things like that that are used, the voter rolls, whether or not they're clean. And then you also have the laundering money. We know because we've covered this in other states, Arizona, where cartel money found its way to illegal ballot harvesting and ballot trafficking. It's not uncommon for laundered money like this. And when you're talking $1 to $8 billion for that money to then get dumped into the campaigns of people that they install, this could potentially be why we haven't seen anybody prosecuted in the state of Minnesota for this under the Walz administration. I mean, it begs the question, how do you not notice like $1 to $8 billion worth of money going to Somali communities? Some of this money was actually wired out of the country to countries like China and others. I mean, this is a huge deal, and it begs the question, how much foreign influence is involved in this whole scandal right now? But the Trump administration is cracking down on it. They are doing an investigation into all of this, and Tim Walz is under the microscope. So I'm sure, as whether or not he reports back to the federal government, uh, his actions are going to be the talk amongst the Republican hopefuls here in the state.
Right. So we're watching that very closely because, again, this could be huge, a big strike against Walz as we're heading into 2026. Mike Lindell, he is known for paper ballots, burn down the machines, melt them down, get rid of them. That's what he's known for with Americans when it comes to politics. Any other campaign promises from him today when he made the announcement?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely maintained that he's going to help the American business owner here in Minnesota, specifically cutting back taxes and regulations that hurt people. I mean, this is like when you look around, I wish you guys could see like the full glimpse of this factory, just how far back it goes. I think someone here said it was over 400,000 square feet of just manufacturing, of jobs, of all kinds of stuff. And when you have a governor or a president that doesn't support American manufacturing, all of this goes away. Every product in this warehouse is gone. Every job in this warehouse is gone. And so we need people that are going to run at the state and federal levels that are going to support the America First agenda, which Mike Lindell has pledged to do. And he, of all people, here in Minnesota, he was born and raised here. His family is here. That's something that he shared with me today. And I didn't know that. And so I think there's something to be said about someone who has skin in the game and has helped build a state from the ground up, being a resident here, a voter here, and a business owner here. This is one reason why a lot of people think President Trump has done so well as a president, because he helped build this country. His family, the Trump family, has built American city skylines all across the country. And so he wants to put the country first that he spent so much time helping to build up. And I think a lot of people feel Mike Lindell has the same sort of connection to the state of Minnesota.
Mike Lindell has been in the public eye. He's known as the CEO of MyPillow. A lot of people know him as the Pillow Man. And he is going into this Republican field with a lot behind him because he is so well known, and the American people know about his fight and how trustworthy he can be because he does love America. Has he talked about his campaign? I mean, is it hitting the ground running? I know that there is a vehicle, a van of some sorts parked outside the MyPillow factory there. Is he going
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
there it
touring?
is.
There it is. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll stand for
Well,
you. Looks like that's what his slogan may be. Do you know much about this bus that we're seeing?
yes, I did have a chance to see it earlier. It was quite chilly outside, but I saw the bus. It's wrapped, and Mike Lindell had said he's going to be going to all the communities all across the entire state. He pledges to go to each and every one of them and visit the people of Minnesota. And I think that's something that's so critically important. We saw with the President Trump campaign where the grassroots going out and getting in touch with the people, even in the most rural communities and states, is so important because we have a legacy media now that doesn't shed light on the real issues that are going on. So in order to be in touch with the people, you actually have to go and visit with them. And that's something Mike Lindell has pledged to do. That's something President Trump did on his campaign trail, which clearly paid off because he's sitting back in the White House right now. So I think that's a good idea given the landscape of the fake news. You have to go straight to the voter, and that's what he's going to do.
Absolutely. So we will continue to watch this race again, heading into a field of about 12 Republican candidates to go toe to toe with Democrat Governor Tim Walz next year in the midterms. We'll keep everyone updated on the Minnesota governor race. But while I have you, Heather, I want to talk about a lot of excitement. Turning Point USA has been in the news. Erica Kirk has been making the rounds because Charlie Kirk's book, he finished it 1 month before he passed, before he was assassinated. His book was released yesterday, so she's been on the news a lot. And Turning Point USA's America Fest is next weekend, and you and I both will be there representing Lindell TV and also honoring Charlie's legacy and pushing forward for the next generation, the younger generation. How excited are you? I mean, this is a time, and I know you and I have covered these events in the past with Charlie. You've done a lot of work with Turning Point USA. But this one's different. This one's a lot different because it'll be the first without Charlie.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like I'm going to end up emotional when I first go there just because I have been covering Turning Point events for the last 6 or 7 years. I've been to every major conference except for one. And that was only because there were two when they did the People's Convention on the political arm of things. They did it back to back with one of the Young Women's Leadership Summit. And I just couldn't take 2 straight weeks off. So I ended up skipping the YWLS and going to the People's Convention. But other than that, I've been to every one of their conferences for the last 6 or 7 years. And I've gotten to see firsthand the growth of the organization, the impact of the organization, interviewing both students, attendees, speakers, Charlie Kirk himself. I've interviewed Erica Kirk herself. Just over the years, it's been a huge part of my life. And it's going to be interesting going there this December with so much that has been gone on. There's still a lot of, I still certainly have a lot of questions surrounding what actually happened to him that day. And I'd like more transparency from our government on that matter. But as far as the organization that he helped build, it was heartwarming to see so many students in the aftermath of his death rush to want to be a part of that now. So many people turning not just to Turning Point, but also to church. I know my pastor specifically said that they had seen an influx that they had never seen in the aftermath of like new families coming in. A couple weeks ago at my church, a guy got baptized. I didn't even realize it until he stood up. He was wearing a Freedom t-shirt, or the same t-shirt Charlie Kirk was shot in. So the impact Charlie's had on just the country and the world overall is going to be felt for generations to come. I mean, he's a part of history now. And I like to point out the fact that, people will be like, don't compare, Charlie to Jesus. But I just find it so funny that if there's anybody that I've ever met that I feel like walked so closely with the Lord, it was Charlie Kirk. And he happened to die right around the same age as Jesus Christ. So I always like to point that out because I just feel like Charlie to me was a modern day prophet.
Absolutely, he was. No doubt about that. Well, again, that's going to be taking place next week. Everyone at home, you can watch. We'll be live Thursday through Sunday in Arizona for America Fest, Turning Point USA. Like Heather just mentioned, it's going to be like a family reunion. You go to these places and you get to see so many wonderful people that you see every year at these conferences, but it's also going to be very emotional. So stick around for that coming up next week. All right, Heather, good to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.